Hey guys, welcome to Fabscapes tutorials, and in this video we'll look about the player movement and jump mechanics. So let's start. In order to do player movement, we have to create some of the assets like player characters, platforms, etc. For that I am using a software named Inkscape. So I have created a player, platform and an enemy spike using Inkscape. So drag these files into the assets folder in Unity. Now we are going to add some physics to our player. For that, we are adding a component named RigidBody2D. So click on the player here and click on the add component. Here you have to type RigidBody2D. Here you can see RigidBody2D and click on that. Now when we click the play button, the player will start falling off. For making the player collide with this platform, we have to simply just add another component named BoxCollider2D. So click on the add component and type BoxCollider. Here you can see. So we have added it in our player. We also have to add the BoxCollider2D in our platform also. And when we click on the play button, you can see that the player will collide with the platform. And the player will not fall through the platform now. Next, we will make our player move in the horizontal direction like this. That is, when we click on the left button, it will move towards the left side, and when we click on the right button, the player will move towards the right. For that, let's create a C# script, and I am naming it as player movement. And open the C# script. For making our player move, we have to get some inputs from it. For that, we can use the class called input and put a dot. And we have to add a function called getAxis. So getAxis is a function that can be used for returning the value of virtual axis. It basically returns a value between -1 and +1. That is, when we hit the left key, it returns -1, and when we hit the right key, it returns +1. And the syntax is like this: getAxis of axis name. Since we want to get the horizontal input, you can change the axis name as horizontal. And we are going to store this input inside a variable. So I am naming the variable as move equals, and I am giving the data type as float. Next, we have to create a new vector2 variable. For that, we have to create another variables like speed for storing the player's movement speed, and a RigidBody2D for using 2D physics, and they are declared as a global variable. So we can write it as float speed and RigidBody2D, and we are naming it as rigid. Since we are going to access this speed variable in other scripts too, we are making it as a public variable. And the RigidBody2D as a private. Also, we have to create a reference to the RigidBody2D. So we have to write in the start function as rigid equals get component of RigidBody2D. And close it. And now we are going to create a new vector2 variable here as rigid.velocity. equals new vector 2, and here in the x-axis we are making it as move times speed, and in the y direction rigid dot velocity dot y. So save the script and get back to Unity, and we have to add the player movement script inside the player. So select player and drag the player movement script here and change the value of speed as 5, and when we hit the play button we can see that the player will move towards right when we hit the right key, and it moves towards the left when we click the left key. But in this game we are making our player only moving in the right direction automatically like this without clicking to any keys. So for this we have to again open up the player movement script and remove this line of script, or simply we can make it as a comment, and also remove the move from here. Save the program and jump back to Unity, and when we click the play button the player will start move to the right direction automatically. And we can also see that when the player falls down it starts rotating. For that we can freeze the rotation by selecting the player and checking this box here, and now the player will not rotate when it falls down. Next we will look about the jump mechanics. For making an object to jump we have to just increase the velocity of the y-axis. So when we hit a key then the player will move towards up like this. Now open up the player movement script and here create a function named jump. So I am giving it as void jump. Now we have to write a program in such a way that when we hit on a key once, then the velocity of y direction will be increased. So we can write the program as rigid dot velocity equals new vector 2 of rigid dot velocity dot x comma, and here we have to add a y component. For that I am creating another variable named jump. So here I am declaring a variable named jump, and I am going to write this variable here. Now we have to assign a key for jumping, and it should be in such a way that when the key is pressed then only the statement should work. So we can create a if condition and assign a key for it. So it would be like this: if input dot get key down of key code dot, here we have to assign a key. So I am going to assign it as space, and we also have to make the jump variable as a serialized field. And now we have to call this jump function into the update. Save the script and let's jump back to Unity. And here we have to assign a value for it. I am assigning it as 5. Click on the play button, and now when we hit space, the player will begin to jump. You can also note that when we hit the space key multiple times, the player keeps jumping. But what we need is only a single jump. For making it as a simple jump, we are going to create a private bool named grounded. And we are going to declare onCollision enter 2D here. So private bool onCollision enter 2D, and I am naming it as other. So what happens is, when the player will collide with the platform here, the grounded will become true. And when our player doesn't collide with the platform, the grounded will become false, and it will allow us only to jump once. If other dot game object dot compare tag, we are comparing it with platform. If it is true, then the grounded will become true, and the velocity will become 0. So rigid dot velocity equals vector2 dot 0. And we have to add another condition here also, which is if grounded is true, then the grounded will become false here. Let's jump back to Unity, and we have to add a tag to the platform. So we have named it as platform. So we have to make this as the tag. So click on here and click on add tag and write platform here and save it. Now it's no longer jumping infinitely, and I can only jump once after touching the floor. Finally, we have created our player movement and jump mechanics. If you like this video, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.